Alright, what is going on, guys? WeBull back again, coming at you with an update video on the new anniversary Aizen. We're going to break down the character, his gameplay, etc. And I do want to talk about this Frenzy +2 debacle that everyone's talking about. And without further ado, let's just get right into it, and we're going to break down the gameplay for the Aizen, while I'm going to bring up some objectivity and try to be like, all right, you know, I want to play both sides, devil's advocate and all that. Now, first and foremost, Frenzy +2, shout out to my boy Riddler for doing all the calculations and actually researching and actually doing all the he's realistically speaking, my boy pretty much did all the legwork, and I'll go over what he says, etc. That being said, I do want to talk about what Caleb has messed up with in the past when it comes to the gameplay that we actually get. Back in the day when second anniversary Ichigo was actually revealed, or at least his gameplay was revealed, for those that don't remember, he actually had 2 melee strong attacks, but he had a ranged nad string and a ranged, I believe, second strong attack or first strong attack. Either way, when that originally released, I made the comment of, and I remember this comment very well, I'm like, if he has 2 melee strong attacks, I think that this is going to be stupid, because he won't be able to get his strong attacks back in time as a strong attack damage link, since he was naked. Very obvious that he didn't have any strong attack recharge built into the character. And my thought process was, back in the day when we didn't have a lot of strong attack recharge links, getting a character with full strong attack recharge links was actually quite rare. So when I saw that, I was kind of disappointed, because I'm like, this character's not going to be able to guard break. He's not going to be able to guard break. He might be able to deal a good bit of damage, but he can't guard break. And when he came out, they changed that strong attack. They changed one of his strong attacks to range. His third strong attack was changed to range, or I believe it was his third. And when they did that, I'm like, okay, cool. You know what? They just messed up on the reveal trailer. That's fine. It's a development in progress type thing. But they've done this multiple times on some characters. They've messed up sprites such as removing. They had to remove Bankai Renji's tail. They had to remove Kenpachi's, I think it was Banken's eye patch, and they also had to fix up True Bankai Ichigo's Bankai mechanic with his sword. And they've also messed up on Senna. So when I click over here, for example, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, perfect. All right. So going over here, you'll see here that Senna actually has a Rancor killer. Now, she's definitely given an Rancor killer, so that's one thing to note. And you'll see here that she deals damage. The Ichigo, she's not able to deal killer. Click here. So there you go. Visored Ichigo, not able to deal killer here because she has a Rancor killer. He's a hollow Soul Reaper. However, the debut trailer that they released when she originally was about to come out, 2 days prior, she actually had hollow killer. All right, so back in the day, she actually had a hollow killer. You'll see here that when she crits, and this is super important, by the way, this is going to come back later. She has hollow killer, and you'll see here that her critical hits for 1618, and her non-criticals do have killer, and they do hit for 1400. The enemies, I wish that I had access to see what status ailment they are. Actually, no. We can tell that she has attribute advantage as well. Yes, we can tell that she has attribute advantage as well based on this. So the 1447, she has attribute advantage, I believe. I think that this is attribute advantage. Anyways, I digress. Let's just get into the breakdown from Riddler. Shout out to my boy, as always. Make sure to follow him, even on Reddit. Riddler208, that's the boy. Hello again. As I did back over New Year since the Bankai Live this morning, I've been combing through the gameplay shown on stream nearly frame by frame to try and figure out as much about this anniversary Aizen as possible. Keep in mind that these are not official, nor are they data mined. They are based strictly on observations and calculations, which I have already stated that can be flawed just based because they are being developed, right? Like the character is still not 100% completely done. Sometimes they change stuff up. For those that don't remember, when Ishin, 1,000 Year Blood War Ishin and Getsu, his second strong attack was completely broken, and it was like borderline. And actually, no, his second strong attack was completely unplayable when it first came out. But they patched it. You know what I'm saying? Stuff gets patched, etc. But that's just one thing that I definitely want to make note of. Now, let's just get right into the rest of what he's talking about. Keep in mind that these are not official, nor are they data mined. They are based strictly on observations and calculations. There's always room for error or for KLab to change specifications before they're added to the game. So full on disclaimer, things can be changed, and of course KLab can do whatever the hell they want. It's their game. At the end of the day, it's their game. They can do whatever they want. Hell, they could show us like 1000-Year Blood War, Tech Yamamoto, and then like say that he freezes enemies. If they want to do that, they can do that. We'll probably be upset because like it doesn't make any sense, but sure, why not? They've done worse. Low-key, they've done worse. Now, without further ado, here's my projections on what the new units are going to have. Now, for this, I do want to bring up the gameplay for the Aizen. We're going to watch it once together. Oh, my bad. I had to slow down. So I do want to bring the breakdown of the Aizen. I'm not going to break it down first. We're going to watch it together, and then we're going to go over what Riddler says. Okay. Oh man, the Aizen looks so good. Alright, Drain Mechanic. Third strong attack, standard full screen. Second strong attack. You can see where he weakened the enemy. All right. Okay. All right. So let's just get right into what Riddler says. All right. So basic data: Killer, Soul Reaper. Second killer, unknown, but probably not captain based on the damage difference. Like the range is the same range as the damage that was dealt on regular Soul Reapers, meaning that Aizen probably doesn't have Captain Killer. When Daddy Ichigo and Captain Rukia were shown in the gameplay when they originally were about to come out, you could see and very much tell that Ichigo smacked the living hell out of the captain that he was going up against, and Rukia smacked the literal hell out of the side of the portal that she was going up against. So it's very kind of obvious. If this Aizen has the same killers as he does in the video shown, he is going to have Soul Reaper Killer, but he will not have Captain Killer, and he will most likely have two killers just based on anniversary. 4th anniversary Mugetsu, 5th anniversary Ichigo and Byakuya, and Art Book Ichigo. Let's be real here, Art Book Ichigo is a 6th anniversary character. They just didn't want to put him on the same banner because they wanted these one character banners to be meta. Going into the soul trait, it's evident from his strong attack cooldowns that he has a 12 strong attack recharge because his SA3 starts at 22 and not 21. When your character has a 14% strong attack recharge, your third strong attack from 24 will get brought down to 21. So that's one thing to know. Note that as evidenced by recent units, this can be swapped for a skill listed below, most likely full stamina damage. Now, attack data. Standard range NAD projectile, standard range normal attack damage string. Strong attack 1 seems to be a blank beam because we're not sure, with weaken and drain, and it also has an explosion. Now, we actually did discuss this, but I'm going to quickly just go over what he says here. This one's still pretty vague because of the limitations of the gameplay. It appears to almost assuredly be some sort of beam instead of a ranged collision attack. It has a consistent 3 damage ticks and no knockback, and so definitely isn't a projectile. It's also not a lunge nor a split SA, so barring something unique, it should be either a 2500 length beam or a 1k beam, which is kind of like the shotgun blast. If you're familiar with White Ichigo, Swimsuit Apache, or Ryukin, 1000-Year Blood or Ryukin, you'll be familiar with the strong attack. Really good strong attack, by the way. And this is all assuming without Havoc 20%, okay? Strong attack 2, 800 distant AoE. With how big that second strong attack is, it's kind of obvious that he has Havoc 20%. Or at least it definitely feels obvious to me. So I think that's something that we can definitely look forward to. All right, so I don't want to go over to his special yet. All right, so going into his third strong attack, you'll see here that he actually hits for 1688. Now that is really important to note because the 1688 is actually roughly the same damage that he is roughly the same damage that this Senna, not in this gameplay, here in the point event. multiple hits. There, you'll see here that this Senna with her crits and I'm not sure if this is with the status ailment stuff, whatever. Either way, when she crits and has killer, she hits for roughly 1575, whereas this Aizen hits for 1675. So clearly he's probably gonna have more SP. He's an anniversary unit, might even have a much higher berserker. But that's the thing. A lot of these people are saying that he has frenzy +2 and that he's gonna get his berserker taken away. But you'll see here, just based on this strong attack, he's hitting for 1688, where Senna would hit for 1575. The damage range is significantly higher, and you'll see here that there's multiple hits, even one 1700 back here, I believe. Yeah, there's a 1700 right there with the critical, and that's with this is with what's the word, attribute advantage. So if we take the 1575 times 1.2, you'll see here 1890. So she would actually hit pretty hard if she had nah, because then you have it right here. Let me see, can we see the damage on that? Or it's 1400. Either way, it looks like Aizen's hitting harder. Was that with the third? No, it's with the first strong attack. Let's see if we can get the third. There it is. 1615, 1586, roughly the same amount of damage that this Aizen's dealing, except he's getting a little higher numbers when it comes to the range. So that's definitely one thing to note, because it seems like he's gonna have a higher berserker than these other characters. But you'll also see here that he drained the enemy here, and he's killing the enemy. So this enemy was probably weakened. That's one thing to note when it comes down to that strong attack, because boom, boom. You'll see here, hits for 1700, but it hit a lot very, very quickly. It looks like it hit 4 times almost immediately. 1675. Did he get weakened? 1670, 1590. Yeah, it looks like he might have weakened someone. 1373. See, that one's a little lower. Yeah, it's 1375. What was Senna's berserker? Senna's berserker is only 20%. Interesting. So if he has much higher like spiritual pressure than her, it's possible that he might. Oh, yeah. Okay. There we go. And that's that. I feel like this is the silver bullet right there. Okay, so you'll see here that Aizen's hitting for 1670 with full stamina damage boost plus 20%. Senna has a berserker plus 20%, and she's hitting about as hard as he is. Now, if they're completely naked, that 20% is pretty much going to equivalent to just plus 20% strong attack damage, which he's getting from his full stamina damage boost. And that is kind of important, because it pretty much means that this character doesn't have berserker. And that, I think, is a smoking gun. I personally feel like that's the smoking gun here. I originally wanted to come into this video and say it's not going to be Frenzy +2, but I feel like just based on the damage that we're dealing, he doesn't have it looks like he doesn't have berserker, which is kind of interesting to note. All right, so second strong attack, 800 distant AoE plus the vortex. You'll see here that his second strong attack actually has some of the craziest range in the entire game. Like, you could just see that there's no way that this strong attack doesn't have havoc. Look at this, boom. If this was at 800 AoE, it would have the same range as Mugetsu, the 4th anniversary Mugetsu, and this is clearly significantly higher. Now, when Riddler goes into this, you'll see here, not much to say here, it seems entirely, oh wait, this is pretty clear to be similar to Byakuya's SA2. I say similar because upon closer inspection, the initial part actually only seems to have a single damage tick. For those who remember my article from the other day, and knowing Aizen has guard break, this makes this SA2 even more potent than Byakuya's. If you notice here, this strong attack hits for 5,500, whereas his third strong attack hits for like 1,700, right? And then this is a vortex, which means, and safe to assume that he has some form of frenzy. If this is the 50-hit vortex that Byakuya has, you're probably going to lifesteal some enemies, and you'll see here how many times like this Aizen actually triggers this lifesteal. Now this heal goes for 20% of your max HP, which is actually kind of crazy. And you'll see how often it procs, and that means that you'll be able to run your full stamina damage boost pretty safely. You'll see here that he's triggering and going for the hidden enemies. Now it's not 100% confirmed that he doesn't have hidden enemies from like a link slot skill from T15 or T20. But I think it's safe to assume that they're probably not using any bonus skills and they're just showing the raw character. So yeah, that's all I really have to say here. I'll take the time here to make a quick formal note of all his essays, that they all seem to have weaken and drain. Frankly, I'm not a huge fan of having both, as most scenarios you really only want one or the other, but it's a cool tech to have and it's unique, so I won't complain. That's literally how I feel about it. I'm like I feel like it's unnecessary, but okay. I think it's cool. I think it's kind of flex worthy. Like, it's been a while since we've gotten a busted Aizen. I think the last busted Aizen we had was like Power Aizen was pretty busted when he came out, but he didn't really hold firm. Tech Aizen held firm for a long time, but when manga Aizen, when Battle at Karakura Town Aizen came out, he was pretty trash. Like, I ain't even gonna lie, he was pretty trash. So getting another Heart Aizen, that's kind of like it feels like kind of like a redo, and I'm with it. So, confirmed skills, some form of guard break. There have been times in the gameplays where Caleb will remove guard break from the enemies in point events. It's possible, but that almost never happens. So I think it's safe to assume that he's probably gonna have sharpshooter just based on the fact that he's an anniversary unit. If they just give him guard break, I'll be a little disappointed. I feel like he's gonna have sharpshooter though. He is a range character. Sharpshooter means that you'll have guard break and nullify range resistance, which means you'll be able to do extreme co-op, Senkaimon stages that have range resistance, etc. Same with Guild Quest normal. Frenzy +2. Now this is the fun one. It's here, boys. If you look closely enough, every one of his SA damage ticks have 3 hits. The only possible way I know to achieve this under the current system would be Frenzy +2. For those that are new to the game, Frenzy is currently only really classified as Frenzy, but it's technically Frenzy +1. Now if you have Sprinter, you'll only see Sprinter, but if you have Sprinter +2, you see the Sprinter +2. Frenzy is the same way. For every strong attack hit, Frenzy means Frenzy +1, which means you get an additional strong attack hit. So a strong attack, if you go to the 5-star version, strong attack 1, max hits 6, but if you go into the 6-star version and you go to strong attack 1, and you'll see max hits 12. So Frenzy literally just doubles your strong attack hits. Frenzy +2 will triple your hits. Now, I don't know if they're going to give him Berserker, but based on what we see here, just based on the gameplay of Senna versus Aizen next to each other, in terms of the raw damage that they deal on their melee collision, same hit count attacks, it looks like he doesn't have Berserker, since it was very clear and shown that we have full stamina damage boost on this character. Also note that if you have full stamina damage boost from the skill slots, you actually get 25% full stamina damage, so it's safe to assume that the 20% full stamina damage will be just built into the character without the link slot skill. 40% Bruiser is kind of basic. This one I did some quick damage calculations for, but Bruiser seems to be the value which most closely gives the damage values seen. As usual, the calculations have a lot of natural variance to them, and so there's a pretty big amount of error possible. Still, I'm confident enough to put this here with this disclaimer. One thing to note is I trust Riddler enough to put the 40% Bruiser while calculating the fact that he could potentially have his full stamina damage boost, increasing the damage too. Because full stamina damage boost actually buffs up your normal attacks and your strong attacks, which is kind of sexy, not gonna lie. Now, the fact that he has all the vortexes and stuff like that also leads to believe that this character is going to be able to keep his full stamina damage boost even if you suck at playing this game. If you're new to the game, it's kind of hard to learn how to dodge because it is a very, very different type of mobile game, but I mean, it gets easier over time. And hidden enemies, this one is shown, although both need translating during the gameplay. Gotta love not needing to use an accessory slot for the data pill. True. Now, unconfirmed skills, 40% devastation by my calculations, either weaken procced alongside drain, or he has 40% devastation. So take this with a grain of salt. Sprinter +1 or 2. We haven't really seen him use his flash step, so we don't know if he has long stride or sprinter. Yeah, we didn't see a flashlight being used. 20% Havoc, I think it's just kind of obvious. There's no way to confirm for sure, but I don't see K-Lab making an anniversary unit without Havoc in 2021. I think it's safe to assume, just based on how massive this Vortex is and just how big this AoE is. I think it's a pretty safe assumption. Debilitator, I also wanted to mention this quick. I consider this one highly unlikely, but I think it's a possibility to entertain. Now, I don't understand how Drain works. Let's check this out. Let's check this out. Now, there has never been a character with poison or a damage over time ability with a debilitator of 5 seconds. Tsukishima is the only other character that we have. Oh, Tsukishima came out after. Duh. I mean, before. Drain lasts for 2 seconds, but Weaken lasts for 5 seconds. So I don't think that they're going to give him Debilitator, personally. He literally says highly unlikely, but still a possibility to entertain. That being said, the first character to ever get Debilitator plus 5 seconds on a damage over time ability was actually Soichi. This is actually the first character with a damage over time ability, being Poison, Burn, or Lacerate, to have Debilitator plus 5 seconds. So it's possible that they could just give it to him, but he would only be the second character to have that. Then again, he's the second character to have that second strong attack. D-confirmed skills, Berserker. And lastly, I wanted to put this here as an extra note. Because of the Frenzy plus 2, Aizen doesn't seem to have any amount of stat and Berserker, which is honestly fine. I don't think he'll need more DPS. Fair. Now, I do want to talk about the Frenzy plus 2, because I can definitely see where this is coming from. Now, like I said, this is completely based on the gameplay that was provided to us. Now, this is pretty much where you can pretty much confirm that it's Frenzy plus 2. You'll see here 47, there's 3 enemies here. I'll even rewind it. I'll even slow it down for y'all. Now, I was too hyped to really pay attention to this stuff. I probably should have gone over this more. But here you go. So 3 enemies here. Goes up to 47 from 38, which means that it went up by 9. And then you have the final hit. This is a beam into an explosion akin to Bambietta, which Bambietta is range collision into a melee collision explosion, but this looks like a beam into explosion. And then you'll see the pop, and the 47 goes from 47 to 56, another 9 hits. If there's 3 enemies, and you'll see here that none of them died, and that's the important part. Since none of them died, it's safe to assume that he has Frenzy plus 2, and that, my friends, is actually crazy. Yeah, so this could be a whole new meta. The fact that he has full stamina damage boost plus 20% does help, considering that he does have like crazy amounts of hits. He's going to be able to keep that full stamina nearly 100% of the time, just because of the sheer amount of hits from his second strong attack. Keep in mind that his second strong attack also has you'll see his second strong attack is a 16-second cooldown as well, which means that this character will have his vortex up nearly 100% of the time if you run him with full strong attack recharge, which is very easy to do considering the sheer amount of increased strong attack recharge links that you actually have access to in the heart attribute. If I type in here strong attack recharge, enhanced soul trait, strong attack recharge. You'll see here that you have Rukia, Retsu, Yoruichi, Ichigo, and Neliel. Both Ichigo and Neliel having strong attack damage as hybrid or damage inflicted at full stamina plus 16%, which, like I said, very easy for this Aizen to keep a hold of. And overall, I do think that this Aizen at this time has Frenzy plus 2. Now, this is based on the gameplay that was provided to us. You'll see on the bottom left, based on like their development kit or whatever. Could be changed at a later date, but for now, I don't know. It is what it is. But I'm gonna leave it at that. You know, guys, grind on, catch up, stay blessed. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.